Hey everyone, it's Ryan Fowler with Mind Chrysalis here with my good friend Ryan. We have a client interview for you. You've made a lot of progress. You're one of those cases where you had a lot of severe trauma and you still haven't fixed it all, but you've fixed a lot. So thank you, Ryan, for having the courage today to put your story on YouTube and share and encourage others in so sharing. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to, do some sessions with me.
Well, I first saw one of your webinars in the Masculine Empowerment Network back in the day,
Okay.
a couple of years ago, something like that. And that was a real light bulb moment for me because I knew that there was always something. I hate to say it this way, but I knew there was something wrong with me, like deep down.
Yeah.
I knew there was something weird going on in my core. And I admit that I really procrastinated on actually booking the session and going forward with it. It took me about a year to actually get moving. Well, as you know, I had so many layers of bad programming, and I had a lot of shit around asking for help, going to people, being vulnerable, telling them the reality of what's going on with me is that I had a lot of stuff and I was scared to talk about it. So that was a big part of it.
So after a year, what finally made you pull the trigger?
I think it was when I got my hands on one of your audios. You shared it with us in the Inner Game Healing.
Self-hypnosis audio, yeah.
Yeah. And so I tried that, and right away I noticed, like, man, there's really something to this. And so I think that I used that audio a lot. Like I was doing it twice a day for quite a while.
And what made you think there's something to it?
I remember the first time I used it, I kind of felt like a certain amount of a weight lifted.
Nice.
And the next day I was able to do more. Like I don't know, I just had a little bit more energy the next day.
Awesome. Okay.
I could do the damn dishes for a change, right?
Yeah. How were you struggling before you started the self-hypnosis? What were you struggling with exactly?
Oh man, so much it'd be hard to say, Ryan. I mean, I struggled with everything, man. I struggled with almost everything. I was a wreck. Like,
what about like a day-to-day job or going on a date, like either of those?
I could work a day-to-day job. I would have a lot of stuff attached to it. Sometimes I'd go very long periods without working. I went a very long time without working for a while. And when it came to dates and stuff like that, like, no, I didn't do that at all. I had way too much stuff around that.
Why would you go for, it sounds like, months at a time without working? What was that about?
Well, I guess I just felt stuck. Like I would just subconsciously, I'd always want to seek a comfort zone, I guess. Like,
gotcha.
It's just a really comfort zone. Like, people with that kind of trauma don't venture out very easily. It feels like a risk to them, right?
So just going outside felt like a risk to you.
Sometimes I wouldn't.
Would you put that differently?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't quite say like just stepping out the door felt like a risk, but doing anything where I could have the chance of like rejection or judgment felt like a risk, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, totally get it. You did the self-hypnosis. It sounds like that helped you, but then you decided you're going to do a full session. So we've done at this point, I think 3 sessions in total. Is that right?
Yeah, 3 full sessions.
Yeah, and also Ryan, I did a weekly group training with Ryan. So he's had several like 30-minute consults and then some weekly group stuff too, where I was teaching you how to use self-hypnosis. And did you notice like a big difference after the first session, or was it subtle, or didn't notice the first but noticed the second? What was that like for you?
Well, after the first session, I did notice a difference, actually. I remember like later that day and the next day, I felt great. I felt like I was, I just felt so much more inner power and stuff like that. Unfortunately, though, it didn't really last because then, as you know, you remove one big thing and then another thing comes to the forefront, right?
Yeah, we call it layers of the onion. So do you feel we permanently removed something? There was just big trauma underneath? Is that what you're saying?
The first session, yeah, I think we permanently removed a couple things.
Okay. But you had some other stuff still there.
I had a ton of other stuff, though. Gotcha. I had a ton.
Okay. And so what's your recovery journey been like? first session, we still had a ton, so that starts emerging. What was your recovery like just from this? You did self-hypnosis first session, and then what happened since? What's happened since then, and what's that been like, recovering, improving?
Since the first session? Well,
Yeah.
So we did the first session. Then I did a lot of self-hypnosis in between. We had a second session, I think it was like a month after.
Yeah.
So between those, we removed a lot. And I was doing better, but it still wasn't enough. I still had so many different layers of stuff.
Yeah. So how do you think you're different now than before? So you've done 3 sessions. You've done a good chunk of self-hypnosis. Your first session, I think, how long ago was your first session?
About a year and a half ago, roughly, I think.
Okay, a year and a half ago. So how are you different now?
Well, over time, I've slowly got less and less resistance towards doing certain things. I don't get that that feeling I used to get in my gut all the time, that anxiety feeling. I still get it sometimes. I don't get it nearly as much as I used to.
Is it down 90%, 50, 20?
But yeah, probably like 70 or 80%. Things have a little bit more color to them. I don't feel as bleak. I'm not as depressed. I've been able to, like you, I was able to remove, well, I don't know if remove is the right way to say it, but you know what I mean? I was able to reduce my
program or whatever. Yeah.
I was able to reduce my depression a good deal prior to doing any kind of hypnosis. It was still there though. Anxiety, couldn't do any CBT and stuff like that. Didn't do much of anything for my anxiety. Is
there anything you'd like to say to someone who is now where you used to be, or someone else struggling? What would you tell them about this method or your recovery, or any helpful advice you can get them? What would you say?
Well, I mean, I guess I would say, like, if you've got that like severe kind of internal trauma, I guess we'd call it, like, especially if it's like, if you've got like a multi-layered kind of issue, with a lot of people do, where you've just got so much stuff packed in there, like you're probably, there's no other way that I know of that where you can really remove all that stuff. Like, so I would definitely give this a shot. Like it should
at least
work.
Try the free stuff, man.
Yeah, at least, yeah, like you've got
the free stuff helped you too.
Yeah, I did.
You needed some more intensive stuff, but even the free self-hypnosis made you feel lighter. Could do more. Go ahead.
With the free self-hypnosis that Ryan put out recently, is like the audio you get in there is much more powerful than the audio I had, or probably anything Ryan himself.
Yeah, I've been making improvements. Yeah,
so it's a much more powerful.
Well, there's better guidance. Training. Yeah,
it's much improved to what I had, and I was able to, even just with that, with my level of issues, I was able to make some good progress even just with that. So I would start by checking out the free training, and then if you need more,
if you get it there, it's in the classroom section. Once you join, click the classroom tab and just start going through it. Yeah.
But if you are super severe, like what I was, or what you are, you probably will need more help. But there's a full program available that's like, it's got all the same as the free stuff plus way more. One thing I like to bring up, is that, like, I have a little bit of anxiety doing this video right now because I'm not used to doing videos, right?
Yeah. How much was it before, right?
Before it was like a 10. Like when I was in webinars and stuff like that, I couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Now it's like I've got, like, my anxiety is like a 2 right now.
And dude, that is freaking massive.
At one point I wouldn't have been. I don't even know if I'd be able to do a video like this.